U.S. President Joe Biden announced another package of military assistance for Ukraine on Friday as dozens of civilians were evacuated from Mariupol's besieged steelworks, the last pocket of resistance against Russian troops in the pulverized port city. Worth $150 million, the latest U.S. security assistance for the brave people of Ukraine would include artillery munitions and radars, Biden said. A senior U.S. official said it included counter-artillery radars used for detecting the source of enemy fire and electronic jamming equipment. Friday's new batch brings the total value of U.S. weaponry sent to Ukraine since the invasion began to $3.8 billion, and the president urged Congress to further approve a huge $33 billion package, including $20 billion in military aid, to strengthen Ukraine on the battlefield and at the negotiating table. Biden, other G7 leaders, and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky are to meet virtually on Sunday to discuss Western support for Kyiv in its struggle against President Vladimir Putin's invasion. Zelensky said more than 40 women and children had been evacuated on Friday from the Mariupol steelworks after spending 2 months in underground shelters, and that diplomatic options were underway to rescue our soldiers. The Russian Defense Ministry gave a figure of 50 civilians evacuated, including 11 children, saying they were handed over to the UN and Red Cross, which are assisting in the operation. It said the humanitarian operation would continue on Saturday. About 200 civilians, including children, were estimated to still be trapped in the Soviet-era tunnels and bunkers beneath the sprawling Azovstal factory, along with a group of Ukrainian soldiers making their last stand. Russia announced a daytime ceasefire at the plant for 3 days starting Thursday, but the Ukrainian army said Russian assault operations had continued by ground and by air. Ukraine's Azov battalion, leading the defense at Azovstal, said 1 Ukrainian fighter had been killed and 6 wounded when Russian forces opened fire during an attempt to evacuate people by car. Azov battalion leader Andriy Biletsky wrote on Telegram on Friday that the situation at the plant was critical. The shelling does not stop. Every minute of waiting is costing the lives of civilians, soldiers, and the wounded. May 9th fears. 10 weeks into a war that has killed thousands, destroyed cities, and uprooted more than 13 million people, defeating the resistance at Azovstal and taking full control of strategically located Mariupol would be a major win for Moscow. It would also be a symbolic success as May 9th approaches, the day Russia celebrates the Soviet victory over the Nazis in World War II. Ukrainian officials believe Moscow is planning a May 9th military parade in Mariupol, but the Kremlin denied any such plans. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki noted that the G7 meeting will come a day before Victory Day and the leaders will demonstrate unity in our collective response to Putin's war. While Putin expected to be marching through the streets of Kyiv, that's obviously not what's going to happen, Psaki said. During previous evacuations from Mariupol, civilians left in white buses, some taking 3 days to complete a 230-kilometer, 140-mile, journey to Ukraine-controlled Zaporizhia, passing through multiple Russian checkpoints. In Zaporizhia, an elderly woman, Olga Babich, recounted to AFP on Friday the daily bombardments of her village in southeastern Ukraine. A tearful Babich reached into her battered car's back seat to retrieve kittens from a basket covered with a tea towel. "I couldn't leave them. They want to live and they are so tiny," she said. Moscow-backed separatists in southeastern Ukraine meanwhile said they had removed Ukrainian and English-language traffic signs for Mariupol, replacing them with Russian ones. "Locals want to see proof that Russia has come back here forever," said Denis Pushilin, head of Ukraine's breakaway region of Donetsk.